I figured I'd go on earlier today, and I'm actually going to attempt to go into a fortress by myself, a level 7 fortress. Last night after I got off the stream, we went to go in fortresses and my husband jumped in. And I went to jump in with him, but because of the way he jumped in, I couldn't get in with him. And so we each ended up having to go in on our own, and I figured, what the heck? Since I'm here, I might as well try a level 6 and just see what happens. And it actually wasn't very difficult for me this time. I'm not saying it was easy, but it wasn't very difficult, to the point I suspected I might be able to take a level 7. Now, I'm not going to take in one of the Potter's Calamities ones. I will actually try and hit 2 different fortresses on this live stream. So one of the fortresses is going to be after the Potter's Calamity, and one is going to be a level 7. And I have never gone after a level 7 before, so we'll see what happens. If anyone wants an update on my friend from a couple days ago that's around here, she did choose a profession, and she went in to the fortress, and she said, wow, it's so much easier to beat these things in the fortresses. Thank you. So, and she's leveling up a lot faster now too, obviously, because she's able to hit the fortresses. So, if you haven't selected your profession, you're kind of on the... as you guys heard, she said she wasn't sure she wanted to commit to it yet. Honestly, the game becomes a lot funner. It's a lot easier to do things like that when you select your profession. So, just do it. Just take the plunge, select a profession. As I told her, it depends on what you're gonna do. If you are in an area where there's a lot of people, an aura might be the best, and you know you'll be able to get with other people, an aura might be the best. If, same idea, you might want to be the support person. If that's the case, you're gonna want to be a magizoologist. If that's, and then once you're a and then if you are on your own, a professor is a combination, as I told her, of the magizoologist and the professor and the aura. So you might want to, if you're on your own, you might want to choose the professor, just to have that back and forth. So, hopefully that helps you choose a profession. And I'm going to get out here, because I'm pretty sure I'm not close enough to the fortress yet. Maybe I am. Okay, I'm close enough to the fortress. So I'm not going to get out. I was going to get out and walk. But since I'm close enough, I will get these 2 ends, and we will try a level 7. Obviously, I'm going to get as much spell energy as I can before I go in. Okay. Hopefully that's enough. And then I'll go get more spell energy before I try and go after a Potter's Calamity. So this is the Tower Chamber 1 is what I'm talking about by that. I am not going to use the Potter's Calamity runestone. I'm going to go with that one. 18 seconds it looks like. So what happened, and I forgot to drop my one of my Barufio's brain elixirs. Oh well. Because who knows if we'll beat it. So if we do, then I'm out some of the points I would have got. But if we don't, then it's okay. And that's why I'm actually not taking Potter's Calamity in, is I want to be sure. So, imposing Earthling. I would guess these are easier for professors because they're kind of harder for both me and my husband. And since we have the two different ones, that would indicate that this is a professor one. That wasn't a bad first hit when I got it off, though. But it's only one of the ones I'm going against, so that could be an issue. And I have my potion down. Well, luckily I finished it off within a potion. That helps too. Oh, cool. This will be nice, because I need that for the SOS challenge, which we talked about with her the other day too. So there's one way to find the imposing pixie, and to get that for your challenge is, as I was telling her, the higher the runestone and or the higher the thing you go in, the higher the level of monsters will be. So another idea is you could go in, start at a level 1 in a fortress, and then hit a level, then take a level 2 runestone in, then a 3, then a 4, then a 5, etc., to see how you're going to do. Okay, I am going to, just because I can tell, I still have the one that I have the most trouble with coming up. So, I'm glad I did that, because it looks like, oh, that was interesting. I don't know what happened there, but I'm not going to complain. I should have healed myself, but that one shocked me enough. Now I am definitely dropping one of these for this. And what she was saying was she would like to have seen that when you go against these guys, you start out on the star, so that you don't have to try and drag your wand around to hit them. But obviously we can see you don't always hit the same place either, so it's kind of hard to decide. I can see why you don't. I can see both ways. So, and I'm kind of trying to push it so I don't have to use another potion if I don't have to. Oh boy, that was close. If he had got another 1 or 2 hits off, I might have had issues, but I had some time too. So I did it. I was able to beat a level 7 by myself. I do not know if I would go after a level 8 by myself at this time, but I was able to beat a level 7. I might be tempted to later on. We'll see. But at least now I've got that. I know I can go that high with my husband, because if needed be, I can probably carry him. And that's one reason I check those out also before we go higher, is if I need to, I can carry him. So let's go to another place, get a little bit more energy. I may take in a Potter's Runestone in a level 7 and just save the level 6, see what happens. So my suspicion is it's how many times you go either against that level or a higher level that makes it white. And so where we won't be going against the level 7, I don't think, with my husband for a little while. Yeah. But we'll see. I always let him choose the level just because he's a lower level than I am. So, but I had plenty of time still. So if I had messed up, if I got a harder one, something like that, I think I still would have been okay. Yes, I am driving, but I'm not driving very far. And as you can tell, I'm not actually playing. That's one thing I want to reiterate again, is do not play and drive. I heard of someone, and this is another thing to be aware of. My son was listening to someone play, or watching it on YouTube, and I guess he got a shiny or something. It was he watches Pokemon Go. He found a shiny, and I guess he was playing, she was driving, which is a great thing. But he screamed, and she almost rear-ended someone because he screamed, because she looked at his game or something. I'm not sure exactly, and I'm not trying to judge in that case, and I can see how that might scare someone or things like that, but that wouldn't have been good. And especially if you're playing and something like that pops up. I mean, so when I have it open and I'm streaming with you guys or things like that, I put my phone, when I'm driving, I put my phone on the seat. When my husband's driving, as you've heard, I'll click on things and tell him about it in a very calm voice. It's safer that way. Usually I wait until where it's safe to say something. I'll ask him about things or things like that, but it's never something that he would want to overreact, freak out about, or things like that might cause him to jerk the wheel. And you guys have heard when he's playing for me while I'm streaming and I'm driving, he really doesn't do much except for gather energy. And I'm aware of that, and I'm sorry about that, but once again, it's safer that way. It's safer for me to not be playing and driving. And it's better to just say, well, I'm out and about. Sometime I'll get to where I can stop, and then I can go after stuff. And he can go after stuff as he can and as he feels comfortable. But it's better to stop and not play than to get in a wreck. And honestly, this game is not worth risking someone's life over or anything like that. So there really is no game worth that. And when you are not paying attention while you're driving, you can have that happen. Okay, let's actually go in this time now that I'm remembering. And because we know I should be able to beat it, let's use one of these. And then my husband will really be going, because I have got ahead of him, I'm pretty sure, in energy. So I went in 7. Let's go in 7 again. And as you notice, my 6 is white, so. And we have not gone against 7, that's why 8 was not unlocked. So this will be the second time against it, and I will try to remember to keep track how many times I go in this level. Okay, we have a person. I don't like people as much. They're harder for me to beat. But it's first, so maybe that'll be a good thing. Let's use this. This also means I finished one of my one of the things. So, because I only needed one more, and I got one more I used one in the last one that we went against, if you remember. So, I'm moving up from silver to gold in that one. Headed to gold. So, we're at 188. And you can see how much damage he's able to do. Looks like he's only got 7 left, so I don't want to drop another potion for 7. It is interesting that the last one was a critical hit, and yet was, yeah. Go figure. Where am I energy-wise? Let's drop one of these. Let's save that. Let's actually, yeah, we can do this. Go against this guy, because this guy's going to be harder than the other guy. Just because that's the way it is. I wish I had got a pixie, but that's okay. It's random, as you know, and we go from there. I'm waiting to see if I need to drop anything else. I'm kind of debating, but it is dropping pretty fast, and I'm not worried about the last one. The last one I know I do really good against, and they can't hit me very hard. So 119, and they're at 181, 104. Okay, I'll be able to get this one and then heal myself. And then we can go after the last one. I should be able to heal myself. Yep, 2. There. There. Now I can go do this. Because I'm not worried about this guy at all. Maybe I should be, but I'm not. And if I need to, I can drop a healing potion, but I'm really not worried yet. I may have to. Okay, one more, and then I will drop the healing potion. Because, yeah, he's gonna get... I'm not gonna quite be able to do it without a healing potion, but that's okay. Had I dropped an Existimo against one of the other guys, I might have been better off too, but that's okay. I have a bunch of healing potions, and I have a bunch of the existimals, so this just opens up room that I can actually maybe brew some extra potions. So spin for energy. If I were, and the reason I went to a different one, if you have not watched or been aware on other streams or things, I have addressed this, but I'll address it again. The reason I did not go against the other one again is every time you go against a fortress, it gets stronger. Without any other changes, it automatically is stronger. So, it can be harder to beat later on. So instead, I went against, I knew we had another fortress close, and so to be able to know I could beat it and get, because your reward does not increase, but looks like it's gonna be me. Your reward does not increase for hitting the fortress again. It does increase for higher levels, but at the same time, each time you go against it, it gets harder. So it's better to go against a high level fortress once than to go against a low level and then go to another fortress and go against it at a high level, than to go against the same fortress twice. You will get more points for doing it that way. And you guys saw I didn't really have to go very far at all to do that. So now, since I'm at 47, I can go after stuff again. If I can find any. Nothing wants to show up. My guess is that there's not as many that come right here to gather the confoundables that show up here. And at the same time, as I've talked about before, it seems like the more inns there are, the fewer confoundables. Probably so you can't just sit in one place and hit confoundable after confoundable after confoundable and replenish your energy at the same time. And especially where there's also a fortress here, that may have something to do with it. So, we have a park just down the road that I actually haven't gone with you guys to. We've looked at it, but we haven't gone there. So that's probably what we will do now for the rest of the Burfuse Brain Elixir, is go to that local park. So I think that's going to be the plan, unless anyone wants to see anything else. Let's see. The park is that park right there that you can see. And there actually is, if you see, there is a fortress in it. So if you would like, I may go after that fortress. If you don't, that's okay too. If you're on, let me know either way. If I don't hear from you guys, remember where I parked. if I don't hear from you guys, I'm just going to do whatever. So, but if you would like me to, let me know and I will for sure go after it. I'll head straight to go after it rather than looking for confoundables. And it may be better to do that anyway if I want to increase my level faster. In fact, before we go anywhere, let's go in here, do my achievements, because as I said, I should have finished an achievement, I believe. I guess not. Maybe yep, right there. Collect. And hadn't noticed that one. I won't complain about collecting that. Oh, I bet to get rid of that red dot, I have to click on everything. Every one of those to look at them. That makes sense. So I'm just hurrying and collecting these. Okay. Let's go here because I know I've got room for the potion now. Refuse brain elixir. Got 18 of those. Let's start brewing some of these. There. So if I see the pink flower, I want it. Just so I'm aware. Oh, I bet, yeah. And since I know it did this by doing that, we might as well go strengthen up just a little bit. I want to see how much it is. So 32 and 4 and 32 and 4. Okay. So I just wanted to check that so I'd know. Okay, let's plug in just for a little bit. Because, yes, I've got plenty of power, but even better to plug in whenever I'm in the car. Okay, we will go over there and maybe fight in that gym. I think we've got enough energy. 50 something, that's about where I've been, and I end up about 30. So even if something happens, I think we'll be good. And I do have those strong potions going so that I can go after more gyms by myself. Just because, as I've said, chances are my husband's going to hang out at 5 for a while. It took a while to convince him to always want to go in 5s. And that's okay. I mean, he's playing the game the way he wants, and that's the way you should play a game, you know. I will say later tonight, one of the reasons I'm live streaming now, is my husband wants to go after Pokemon Go later tonight. He wants to go after the shiny Rayquaza. If you guys would like to see that, I don't usually stream Pokemon Go, as you know, but if you guys would like to see that, I will check with everyone we're with, and because I believe we're going out with my son's girlfriend, and we'll go from there. If they are okay with it, then I would stream. But let me know what you would like to do. If you'd like to see me stream it or not worry about it. If I don't hear anything by then, I'll just assume not worry about it, and we won't stream. So, I probably, knowing me though, will do some Wizards U while we're out and about, just because I prefer that game a lot. You know, I prefer this game a lot more. I do. It's who I am. It's the way I am. Part of it's, I think, a bit of loyalty. I've been waiting for this game to come out for a long time. And so I'm kind of partial to this game. A lot of people did not really know about Pokemon Go, have any real clue when it came out, from what I understand. I could be totally wrong, and people could have been as dedicated to it as some of us were to waiting for this game. And, you know, we were literally just playing, there were those of us who were playing Pokemon Go as a placeholder until this game came out. And now that it's out, we prefer this game. But I will admit I spent some money on Pokemon Go off and on. And I didn't do it very often. My husband did it a lot more. And so did my stepson. And I think that's the kind of the indication, I will say, when I did not within the first day or two or week even. It probably wasn't even in the first couple of months I spent money on Pokemon Go. And as you guys know, I got that intro pack with this one. So let's see, Chamber 7 again. This will be the third time going in. Go in with a Potter's Calamity, Runestone. And if I happen to run into someone, great. If anyone is from Logan is here, out or is watching, contact me. Let's say hi. If you don't want to be on the stream, you could contact and say that, and we can still say hi. So, defeat 3 foes. Oh, this guy's easy. I wish he wasn't first. Just because I like having him last. But nothing with your first one, if you're going in by yourself, nothing's going to show up until you beat your first one. Just the way it is. You can see, though, what a difference me dropping that level 7 one makes in how much I can hit. So that's beneficial. If you're by yourself, make sure to drop that. And I may actually have to... Okay, we'll be good. I was going to say, I may have to drop a potion against him, and I hate dropping potions against Acromantula now, just because I am able to go against them the way I am. So I will definitely need to see where I'm at. Probably drop a healing potion. That means I may need to make some healing potions. Drop this. Drop this. Might as well drop this. Let's see what this one does. I've never used that before. Let's go against the Pixie. I think this may be still a strong enough Pixie for that SOS. And if so, that means I'll only need one more Pixie. And then after that, My husband can go after the pixies, while I kind of sit back and let him go after him, because I'll actually, depending on what the next challenge is. Oh, that reminds me, you guys probably have not seen where I'm at on the challenge. But obviously I've got to finish this and then I'll show you. Let's wait, let's do this first. Do this again, do this again, do this, now do this. And then come down here, because I'm not even going to risk it. I just know he's too strong for me. So the reason I dropped all those others is I might as well, there's not going to be another one, and it's not going to help later on, so might as well drop it, go ahead and beat this guy, and then I can go from there. See? Not gonna be another guy. But I did not get the other thing I needed. Okay, that was 3 times against the towers. Let's see if there's any. Aha! Nope, that's not for this event. So let me show you where I'm at with Potter's Calamity. I'm right there. I need to unlock a port key is all on level 2. So level 1, everyone knows. Level 2 is the 2 brilliant snitch foundables, 10 great spellcasts, and a port key. Now, here is where my port keys are. As soon as that one hatches, that 4.9 out of 5, we will go in and start on level 3. So I am not ignoring the brilliant event where that is. I just basically I need, ooh, I want this guy. I'm doing this because this guy has ran on me 4 times already. And it's getting on my nerves. Because that's all I need is this Niffler to be able to go after, or to prestige that. And I literally just need the Niffler. So. Okay. Not around anymore. The events. And I am headed back to my car. There we are. Go to port keys. Close that for now. Come here. Specials. Collect. Collect the rewards. 4 high foundables, 3 brilliant golden snitches, and 4 dark arts. So, we have 2 that might be considered high here. Nope, that's a medium low, and it's not a brilliant snitch. So I'm not even going to bother with it. See what this one comes out as. Whatever it comes out as, I'm going after it. Okay, it's a high anyway. I still was going to go after it. Good. One of them got this guy and got one of the 4 high. Yay! Now I can place that. So that's a double yay. Oh, I didn't realize I got something to place. I can agree with that from everything we learned. The only career he ever wanted. Yes, it was. So. Let's spin these. Remember, I already checked that is not a brilliant snitch. Or else I would be going after it. But I don't need really a lot of the event. I just need I need that one more piece from the wizarding challenges. And then I know where I got that. I got that from completing that challenge. That's where I got that. So, obviously, I think the achievements is still, yeah. Okay, I just had to make sure. Let's come here. Okay, and that's just in the person. So I'm going to wait for that too. Oh, it wasn't my gold key. I thought that was my gold key. Okay. Might as well go after whatever's here. There we are. I'm sorry the stream's unstable. Nothing I really needed other than my XP's never anything to sneeze at, so there's that. I will take that though. Oh, I even got 2 of her. Even better. That means I am now able to prestige this page. If it'll hurry. I think my phone's getting a little bit hot. So my husband has not been able to prestige this one yet. Ranked up in Hogwarts. There's the prestige. So that means I basically need most of Hogwarts again. I don't need Hedwig or Rock. That's all I don't need of the Ministry of Magic. So, that was not supposed to be clicked on. So, no complaints. I will take that. And, of course, we have a port key here. And it's eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Which one do I want to go after? And I'll go after this one. It's kind of what I thought that one was. think I actually have this one, but I'm not positive. And I know I prestiged, or that one was one where a lot of the stuff in it I need. So, I don't mind returning it. Yeah, that's what I thought. So I think part of right now is just my phone's getting hot. It's actually an overcast day here. So yeah. Okay, there, you actually got to see me go after 3 level 7s by myself on the in the fortresses. It's still red, so there's that. Obviously we didn't override or whatever, didn't get it to where it's saying, okay, you're good in the fortresses. I will have to tell my husband I'm not going after any of these 3 fortresses. And if he questions why, I'll just tell him because I already did. But it is cool to know that at least at the level I am with the Magizoologist, which probably means with the Auror and the Professor too, that is one thing I've noticed, is it's probably harder to beat fortresses with the same or harder to beat fortresses with the Magizoologist than with any of the rest. So I would say probably all of you at level 24, 23, 24, whatever I'm at, if you make sure to have selected your profession and to go after and to upgrade your things in there, so do your lessons, you should be able to max out, or not max out, but to at least get to level 7 in the fortress by yourself. I want to keep going at this one just to see how many, if you go after it a number of times, if that's what it is. It also may be that the lessons you do, the hit power you get, whatever. I'm gonna have to do some more research into that, but I figured we might as well go around. Now I'm stopped at a light, so I'm gonna take time to hit that. But that's it, and to gather this, if it'll gather. It did. I'm gathering that because I did notice I need more of that. If you saw when I did the Barufios, I need that. So, I am looking for a place to park for a minute. Just because this is a good place to gather energy and to get... I'm trying to get out of the way, and I have someone following me. A good place to get people, or not people, foundables, and to get energy. So that's why I'm trying to get to where I can park here. So there's that. Okay, I'm parked now. Now I can get a little bit more energy. See if we have any of the dark arts here. High level foundables, and of course the snitch. Don't forget we are after the snitch for a little bit too. So okay, I was just looking around to see what else we have here, because as we all know, things disappear. So Now, what I've noticed is in this game, when you have a challenge or something like that, everything else starts showing up and these become a bit rare. So, it's like this. I did that how many times last night and yesterday, and I could not get, or I could, once in a while I'd get masterful, but it was not as often or as easy hitting great or masterful when we had the challenge on. As soon as the challenge was done, not an issue. I'm not going to go after Harry either. So we have Hedwig and Harry here, and we have no other things. I am going to check what these other two things are, just to make sure that they aren't ones I need to finish off. Like, nope, don't need that guy. That one I would have needed the Niffler. And I believe this one I need a book. Oh, I need this, I think. Oh, this isn't the prophecy, so no, I don't need this. That's okay. It only took one. See, I could not, for the life of me on that one, yesterday, I could not get, when I did that spell, I could not, for the life of me, get a great. It was all good or fair good. I not once could hit a great. Now I'm trying to go very slowly because someone pulled up behind me tight. And I hate when people do that. So, I'm trying to think of another place that's going to have a lot of foundables, but not going to have a flat. I think I know a place. So let's head there, because obviously I need a lot of foundables right now, and I can actually get out there and walk around a little bit too. So we will do that. Let's head over there and go from there. I will also stop when we're there. I do have a drink in the vehicle. I have been a bad girl and have not stopped and got any. And yes, please make sure you do it. Also, if you guys would like, Saturday, I think. No, it must have been Sunday. I was watching some of my channels on YouTube that I'm subscribed to, and one of them talked about a Potter's Calamity cleanup challenge. You drop a port key, and you go walk and clean up. Now, if you would like, I can try and do that. I would have to make sure. They say you pick up the first foundable you find, or the first port key you find, and you go and do that one. I would, because of my chronic illness, have to insist that what I would do is I would basically say, okay, I'm going to drop a foundable, and then I'm going to walk as much as I can. Drop a port key and walk as much as I can, and we can see how far I can go. And how far I feel comfortable going and everything else. Honestly, I think the bigger thing is wizards helping out the environment and each other and the world is the bigger keys to that, and not so much you have to do exactly this much. If you can, that's the best idea, but you also have to take into account that there are people who can't. I know they said not to use a scooter, any of that. But if you need to be able to get out and play, and to be able to get out and help out the world and stuff, do it. You know what? We each have to do what we need to do to be able to enjoy life, participate with others, and if you have something that you need to do to adapt things to make it so that you can participate and you can have fun and be part of this world, do it. You know, people who know this is the only way to do it and otherwise you're cheating, you know what? I honestly think in many ways that's their own way of dealing with things. It makes it easier for them so they don't have to focus, so they don't have to adjust their own lifestyles, and they don't have to face their own fears. If everyone that has, you know, there's a reason years ago so there was a time, and I want to make this clear, it was not all of the past and we're getting better. Actually, we are worse off now, disability-wise, than people were for a time. For part of the Middle Ages. I think it was Middle Ages or before. But, or not, it was either Middle Ages or before, but it may have been Middle Ages. But, we pride ourselves on look at all the gains we've made and everything. Well, you know what? That's not necessarily true for everyone. Some we have actually hurt. And we don't want to admit that. So what happened? So at one point in time, they have proof of people they found proof recently of people with severe disabilities, arms and legs severely deformed, stuff like that, to where they would not have been able to they would not have looked normal, and they would have had to adapted how they lived, things like that, in army camps. And not as they were just there because of, there was proof that they were probably some of the soldiers. And they were fighting right alongside the soldiers and everything. And it's from what they could gather, obviously these are from bones and they had no history. They couldn't say for sure this is this person or things like that. But from what they could gather from the bones, these people were treated just like every other soldier in the army, with adaptations made. But only the adaptations necessary for the disability. And that they were encouraged to live a full life. But somewhere along the way, this idea of looking like everyone else, acting like everyone else, became very ingrained. And I don't know when it happened. I haven't done a lot of research into that. But it happened. And then people started you hid away those family members that might show that you might have a defect in your genes or different things like that. So you hid them away. Didn't let anyone know about them. If possible, if it was obvious that it was at birth, you might even have the child mysteriously die at a really young age. And it's sad. You know, if they had an arm that was slightly off or things like that, ooh, we want to go after this. I hope I got the dark arts. Yep, I did. So we want to catch this hag because we need that. Whisked away. But so they would make him disappear. Not because they were sick or anything. It was because they had a disability. And that's the way things were treated. As soon as you had a disability, you would be hospitalized. No matter if you needed hospitalization or not, the fact that you had a disability meant you needed hospitalized. I see some signs of that as people fight for treatment and stuff. We want to be able to get the treatment we need, but we also need to be careful because sometimes that can lead to the idea that everyone needs hospitalized. That the minute you are diagnosed with this disability or that disability, it means you need treated in a certain way, and that is the only way to be treated. And rather than basing it on your symptoms, you're treated as unable and weak. And it is tempting, as someone with a chronic illness, it is tempting to say, I wish my chronic illness would automatically qualify me for disability. Because it costs a lot of money. It can be hard to work, hard to push yourself. And pushing yourself can make things worse. If just having this disease would automatically qualify you for disability, then you could not have to worry. You would have access to medical care and disability payments that may actually help you live a better life. At the same time, there are those with the same disability that are able to do everything normal people can. And so then the question becomes, where's that line? Do we pay everyone who has some sort of disability a certain amount of money, or guarantee they'll earn a certain amount of money? But if we do that, are we encouraging them not to work and not to try to do things like that? Or are we actually benefiting them? I have heard one thing that's tempting, but there's negatives to it, and that is, what if you were to pay everyone, the government were to raise taxes, and I have to make this clear. Many people know you wouldn't have to raise taxes. No. Anything that comes through the government is going to raise taxes. Anyone that tells you differently than that is wrong. If you try to tell me that if we put everyone on socialized health care, everyone's going to be better off, other than the very, very rich, No one's going to be paying any more than they're paying now. Wrong. False. You need to go back to the drawing board. And you need to do your own budgeting. If you add something into your budget, it automatically reduces the amount of money you have. You know, if you start paying for something, yes, it might give dividends in the future, but you're also paying for it. It has to come out somehow. We have to, if we go to socialized medicine, we have to pay for it. And it's not just going to come from the rich. If the rich are paying more, they're going to charge more. They charge more, you're going to be charged more. On top of that, without fail, every time that's happened, eventually taxes get raised. It happens. It's the way it is. So, there is no complete handout from the government. But, so people who argue that, no, I won't listen to you when you tell me that, because I know you don't understand. Now, a better argument is, how are we spending our money? Is it better to let everyone decide how their own money is spent and let people die? Because if we were to completely get rid of all form of socialized medicine, and I hate to say this, some people will say that, well, if what we had before wasn't some form of socialized medicine. Bull crap. Health insurance is a form of socialized medicine. Rather than, yes, each person gets to choose their own form and what group they want to be a part of and whatever else. But you know what? It's still socialized medicine. The people who say that, well, so there's a Christian ministries or whatever thing that you pay so much a month to be part of the group, and then when you need the money, they pay. And they claim that's not health insurance. Bullcrap! It's health insurance. It's still a form of socialized medicine, and it's still health insurance. If you really look at it, to not be a form of socialized medicine, what would have to happen is you get rid of all insurances, everything else, and it becomes just like if I want to purchase something. It's basically you're purchasing something from your neighbor. No one else is assisting you in the cost. Anything else. Anyone who says the U.S. is not partially socialized is wrong. Subsidies to farmers is socialization, etc. The question is where that line gets drawn. And that's hard. There are many churches and whatever and the LDS Church is one of them, that the feeling is, or some people in the churches believe that the government should be in charge of it all. That if we're a Christian nation, the government should cover. And that's just the way it is. To be a Christian nation, we have to take care of everyone, no matter what. Other people believe that it stops that freedom of choice. That you should be that you can't serve your fellow men. It's not truly serving your fellow men if you're forced into it. I'm not going to say either way, but that is something to consider. Okay, we unlocked a port key. Let's see, what key I have. it's still, my gold is still in use. Okay. And I just unlocked another. And my gold is still in use. Okay. So I started those yesterday when I saw I needed to unlock 4 port keys, and yeah. I'm trying to see if I can take care of this event while we're on, but I don't know if we will be able to. Anyway, so, and in a way, churches do some form of social, you know, the socialized stuff too. If everyone pays in and then you take care of each other, and then the church dictates where it goes, or you have someone dictating where it goes other than each person individually, it's socialized. It's a socialized system. The problem is, and that is what many people talk of as the ultimate, as the way Heavenly Father or God, however you want to put it, would have it. You know, that's true. There is another thing to consider, though, and it's the fact that power can corrupt. So, very often when you go into a socialized medicine situation or any other socialism situation, what ends up happening, I'm trying to see what level this is. I'm not going to be able to see. Okay. Oh well. What ends up happening is that the people in charge start taking care of them and their family first. And then trickle down. So anyone who says socialism gets rid of classes, bullcrap. Go do your research. There are still classes. There are the elite, and then there are those who are working for the elite, and on down. Do not tell me that socialism will get rid of classes. That's another way that I won't listen to you, because I know that is false. I know enough about East Germany, all of that. And don't tell me, well, that's just because it was done wrong. Anywhere you go, if you really look into it, the leaders are treated better than their people. And the minute that happens, that is a form of classes. What if you have a situation in a church where you have the leaders are treated better than any person randomly picked on the roll? There is a form of class. There is a class system there. Sometimes that's for a reason. Maybe, and I'm not going to say for sure, and I'm not going to judge. But don't tell me that there's not a form of classes, because that becomes wrong. Okay, I am just looking for dark arts now. I did not realize that. That's good to know. Okay, so I'm just looking for green. And of course the achievement. Okay. So I don't know where we have a green flag. That would be overcome. I think there's a flag there. I am going to have to go look around to see if I can find somewhere without a flag, because I don't remember seeing a dark arts. If I've seen one and you're on, let me know. But I don't remember seeing a dark arts flag around here. So that makes it a little bit interesting, and I'm sure the map has a way to search, but I haven't figured that out yet. I'll have to ask about that, if there's a way to search for certain flags on the map and have them show up. So, because that would be nice. Anyway, yeah. So that's my thing about socialism and how do we care for people and healthcare and whatever else. I don't think there's any one right way. I think there are a million wrong ways, and that'll be wrong for someone. And so that's a hard decision to make, and I don't like the fact that some people are, well, if you don't believe the way I believe, you're wrong. You're absolutely wrong. And I know what I'm talking about. Okay, that's kind of what came across here. Give me ideas. But as I've said, if you're telling me things that I know are wrong, class systems, that there's no class systems in socialized countries. I have heard that said. There are two. It happens. I have yet to hear of a true socialized country that does not have class systems. Don't tell me that that no one but the very rich are going to end up paying more for socialized health care. It doesn't add up. Now, if we did a bunch of things, there are countries out there that literally pay everyone a living wage. And then if you get jobs, and they pay for your schooling and whatever else. And then I guess there's certain things you can do to where it increases what you earn, if that makes sense. If that is, I have not really looked into that, but that may be a way. Is everyone's paid this amount, but if you work this many hours at this type of a job, you actually earn this much more, etc. And of course, you know that extra is going to be taxed on and whatever else. But and that makes it hard because where does that line get drawn, etc. So I don't know. That's a hard decision. But I've heard that the country runs really well. I've heard of countries who have abolished weapons and are much better off. I've heard of other countries who have abolished weapons and and the criminals find other weapons, so they have other types of weapons, so they have to abolish them. And then the criminals find other types of weapons, so they have to abolish them until it becomes kind of ridiculous. I hit my phone weird. So there is no one thing that, and I've heard of the opposite way. I've heard of countries with, who haven't done any abolishment, who there's no, their fatality rate, their death from weapons, etc., is extremely low. On the other hand, I've heard of countries where it's extremely high. There is no right answer in this world. It just doesn't exist right now. So the question then becomes, what do you choose to do? And you have to make the choice that feels best. If you're in America, you have to weigh out what the politicians are saying, weigh out everything that's being said, and then do what you can to become educated and go from there. The reason we have legislatures is because we cannot, it was originally put in because one person does not have the ability to become a specialist in everything and do everything. If we had to research every single thing that comes across that's presented to Congress and vote on it, period, no, there would be no time to do anything else in this world. You would be voting and researching the whole time, and we would quickly not be a country, because no one would have time to take care of themselves, etc. At the same time, if you do need to be aware of who you're voting for, and who we should have in office are people who will vote for their constituents. The idea is that your legislature is a stand-in vote for you. They take the time they are paid to take the time to do all the research and everything else to understand what's going before them, to vote, and the idea is that they are supposed to vote the way you would vote if you were there. So of their however many people in their constituency, they're supposed to vote the way the majority would vote. If they are not doing that, they are not doing their job. So part of the idea of being of doing your constitutional responsibility as a citizen is taking the time to vote for those people who will vote for you. So you need to do your research into them, and then you have to make your best do the best you can to make that decision. And if it worked on, just like with everything else, the way it works on paper and the way it works in practice is not exact. So they don't always correlate and happen the way they should. So then you have to try again or make it work. And that's where we're at, is many people are trying to do what they can to make it work. So that's my spiel for why, if you're in America or other countries where where things are done by voting, why you should get out and vote. At the same time, as I said, do your research. Don't just believe what you're told. Costs, you can't say, period, I won't spend more now. Even though the government's going to be spending more, it will all come from someone else. That's often not the case, and I've heard of a lot of people who get misled by that. I went through and I did the math, because someone's like, well, you spend this much, you'll actually spend less if the government takes over. I went through and I did the math, and I pointed out to them how much that increase, even though for us, we spend a lot on healthcare, we would actually spend more, and they were shocked. And I sat them down and I questioned them about how much they spent and whatever else, and asked them to look into it. And they were shocked to find out that they actually came back, I don't want to talk about it, I don't have time to do that, or something like that. And it was obvious that but then they quit pushing it. So it became obvious what actually happened is that they had taken the time to research and found out that they actually truly would spend more in the new system, or, more for a socialized medicine system than they were currently spending. And then they started proposing other things, which I think is great. That's exactly what we should be doing. But I think one of the traps we fall into is believing that everything we're being told from our legislatures or whatever is true, and so we should vote this way only. Or everything we hear in social media or even in the newspapers is 100% true. I have had a number of times when someone says something and I go and look it up, and I find out that what all the papers and everyone else are claiming, well, this is going to happen, and this is the way this law is written, and whatever else. And then you go and read it, and it's totally different. So there's that. I will say one of the dangers of citizens proposing laws and then voting on those laws and saying that legislatures can't change them at all is sometimes the wording is such that it would get thrown out in a court of law. And so then you end up with, you've spend all this money, everything else, and it's become clear that that's what the people want, but then they won't allow it to be changed to be able to be kept in place. That's concerning to me, because it almost seems like in a case like that the people actually behind it are the lawyers, because the lawyers get paid to fight for the law, and then they get paid to fight or against, for and against the law, and then when it doesn't happen, they get paid to claim that it's, to fight that there's discrimination, and that's scary to me. Because then also, it almost becomes the lawyers and the judges are making the law, and not the people. But that's, at the same time, we do need courts to make sure that it's not your political people who are completely making the law. There is a checks and balances for a reason. And it's because we are not in a system where everyone can be trusted to do what's best for everyone. And instead, they do what's best for them. And I'm as guilty as the next person. I think everyone, if you were to talk to them, if put in a situation, they would do what was best for them. So, I was hoping to find some more of to get those 4 dark arts before I got off the stream. And I know the stream's been a long stream. I think it's been about almost 2 hours now, which is a really long stream, but I am not finding them. And I got on my political soapbox, which I don't like to do. Because that's never the best thing. So, I am going to go kind of check out one other area. And then I am going to let you guys go. And the reason I'm going to go check out that one other area is I am driving. And so I need to get where I can stop. So the area I'm headed to is not very far away. Like I said, I wish I knew where a dark arts flag was. But I don't think I've seen one at all. And so until I know where one is, it's not like I can drive there and get mostly dark arts and hurry and finish that. So we will go from there. Going to this, I'm actually going into a parking lot that no one's in, so I can maybe slightly drive around and see what's around here. What is this flag? Of course. And I do have that one locked. What's in this greenhouse? Leaping toadstool in 6 hours, 14 minutes. I may need to go log that. In fact, I'm going to, just as soon as I get this. Why is that open? I already closed you once. Go figure. And we're in London. Let's log out and log back in. Okay, zoom out. Zoom in. I said zoom in, not out. Okay. I'm on there. And it's not in, I don't think. Let me see who that is. That obviously is my service provider, but I'm going to wait a minute because I want to log this, so. And I told them if I don't answer, to leave a message, so. Let's figure out and log these two things. Okay. Straight down the road. Okay, there's the flag. So we're over Okay, so we're straight down the road here. And which one is... Okay. The greenhouse is right on the corner, and then down in is the other. So let's turn off the car for a little bit. Greenhouse. Right there. Now let's go find out the name. It's some Willow Valley LDS Church. Now let's see how long. 6 hours, 36 minutes. It might also be nice if you could mark that it's been maxed or boosted. That's what I thought. That's what I was remembering. I just wanted to make sure. While I'm doing it, might as well look around and see if there's anything else I can look that I can tell exactly where it is. Okay, got all that. I know where that one is. Okay, Logan 16th Ward LDS Church. If it'll move. If not, I'm not going to. Okay, I'm not sure I could figure out those two down there. So, we've got them all. Hopefully, you enjoy some or all of this. And I will see you tomorrow. I should have that done by then. So, talk to you later. Bye.